Now, you told me a story about Peter Lawford's son. Can you tell me that?
Well, when I went into the courtroom and I asked him why the door was locked, and he told me there's a lawyer there with a client, I asked him who the lawyer was. He told me it was Alan Chapman, very high-priced lawyer. And I said, who's the client? He said, Christopher Lawford. I said, Christopher Lawford? He says, yeah, that's the president's nephew, married to his father's Peter Lawford, the movie star. I said, I don't care who they are. And I went to the lawyer and I told him to leave. We have private conference rooms for lawyer-client. You're not going to have a courtroom for your own private consultation with your client. I kicked him out of the courtroom and I locked it. And then we had the female judge from East Boston Court. She heard the case, the arraignment for Christopher Lawford, and she found probable cause to go to trial. She set bail, and he met the bail. He was out on bail. And then one day, I forget when, months later, I went into a courtroom and I saw Judge Henry Crowley. And I asked him what he was doing here, because he was the presiding judge of Brookline Court. He says, well, Judge McKinney called him to come and hear a special case, one case, and that would be it. What was I going to think of her name? I always knew it.
That's not important now. We can double it.
Well, I asked him, well, what was the case? He said the judge didn't know. So I saw the clerk, or Paul, the clerk. I asked him who the defendant. He said it's Paul. It's Christopher Lawford. I said, uh-oh. And I said, oh, Christopher Lawford. Okay. So I got a couple of my court officers, because I knew we're going to lock this guy up, because this is like his fourth or fifth offense for drug dealing. So Alan Chapman presents his case, and Judge Henry Crowley, well, let's put it that he was asleep. He didn't even pay attention. I think he was hungover. And he lifts his head up and he says, continued without a finding for 6 months. Now, this was a closed session for Christopher Lawford. And I was very much upset about it. But out of the corner of my eye, I caught a flash. When I turned around, I saw a camera being pulled out of the opening of the doorway. And I didn't pay much attention. But a few days later, I got an envelope in the mail from the reporters of the Boston Herald with pictures they took in the courtroom. I'm in the picture. Christopher Lawford, the lawyer, and the judge are in the picture for the arraignment. It was the arraignment picture. And we knew this guy was going to go to jail, but Henry Crowley, the thing was in the bag. And when you get Senator Edward Kennedy's nephew in there for drug dealing, heroin, Class A.
So is it safe to say that deals were made with rich people and gangsters too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he was any other defendant, he'd be on his way to Walpole. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoever the lawyer is and whoever the politician is, and as a matter of fact, sometimes the door to the lobby door to the judge's chamber was like a swinging door that so many politicians that are practicing law used to show up until I put a stop to it. And because the judge wanted to know why, I said, you know, Judge, you have people out in the corridor. You have innocent people, you have the plaintiff, you have defendants, and so forth. Now, if you see a lawyer who's going to defend a bad guy, and the poor people see him going in the judge's chamber, what are they going to think? You know what I think, Judge? When that lawyer comes in here, they know he's a senator or a representative or whatever. They know he's going to talk to you. They know when they go into the courtroom, who's going to win?